Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Today I have a lot of kind of movies and TV shows to talk about. Not too much other stuff, but I do want to get in really quickly, guys. I have made it to 21,000 subscribers and I want to thank you so much for being here with me during this journey. And if you're a new person, hello. If you're an oldie goldie, hello. I really appreciate you guys. And I did say, I think on my last favorites, that I would have a video about my 20,000 subscribers. Don't worry, it is coming. Sorry, there's been a little bit of delay. When you see it, you'll understand why. It's actually gonna come this weekend. So I'm super excited to share it with you guys and hopefully it will be just as emotional for you as it was for me. But let's get started on Letterboxd because I know that's the reason you guys are here. Oh, by the way, if I did mention, look how cool this case is. I think some of you guys talked about it in the last video. This is a Pennywise case. The reason I haven't spoken about it is I wanted to get something made by an individual artist, so I got it off Etsy, and then it came from China and it took 2 months to get here, so I don't think it was actually from the artist who made it, which is so unfortunate. So if you do know who made this design, let me know, because I'd love to know where it actually came from, but I love this case nevertheless. So at the start of February, I can't believe it's already March, I know, people say that all the time. I watched True Story. Okay, funny story about this movie. I had actually already seen this film. It's one of those films we've renamed. I think we called them beige films when we talked about this last. It is a movie with James Franco and Jonah Hill, and Jonah Hill is writing an article about a murderer. I would kind of recommend this if you're into that kind, if that sounds appealing to you. I'd recommend this one to you because it's not a bad movie, but there's not a lot of payoff to it. It is on Netflix. This was the time I was in Melbourne still, actually, because I went and saw Ben is Back, and I went and saw this at Independent Theatre in Melbourne, which was really cool. If you guys don't know about this film, Julia Roberts, hello, she's amazing in this, and Lucas Hedges. It is about a boy who is addicted to drugs and he goes back to spend the Christmas holiday with his family. I think it's Christmas or it's Thanksgiving. Anyway. Oh, it's directed by Peter Hedges. I wonder if that's his father. Or it's just like a weird coincidence. I don't know about that. Let me know below. It is a sad movie, and if you are affected or anyone in your family has been affected by drug abuse, I think that, I don't know if it's a healing movie. It might just like bring up a lot for you, but I would recommend it. I thought it was really good emotional drama, and if you're into that kind of thing, you would love it. I then watched Velvet Buzzsaw, which we all know how I feel, and I'm not gonna go into it because I go into it every video. And then I watched Crazy Rich Asians, which I was so excited to see because I just like a feel-good movie sometimes, and I really appreciated that this film was made in Singapore, which I haven't seen a lot of drama films made in Singapore, and that's just my own doing, but I do think it's like a blockbuster thing, where I watch a lot of horror movies from Singapore. I really like Singapore. Shout out to Chris who watches me, who is from Singapore. I thought this movie was really cute. It was pretty, I guess, predictable, but it was a cute movie and it's nice to see something of diversity. I then watched Can You Ever Forgive Me, which was not as compelling as I hoped it would be. I definitely watched a lot of more blockbusters during February. Melissa McCarthy was amazing in it, but yeah, again, not a movie with great payoff, but I do think it was a great emotional journey and it told a different story that we haven't seen before. So gotta give props to that. I then watched Escape Room, which you guys were waiting for me to talk about. But the thing is, this movie had just came out in Australia, but it already had been out in America for a while, and I think probably the UK as well. And I just didn't have much to say about it that hadn't already been said, so I didn't feel the need to add my 2 cents. But I did do a Patreon Come With Me review, which you guys seem to like, who are the Patreons. And I will say, I didn't mind the film, to be honest. I thought a lot of people were pretty harsh on it. I don't think it's an amazing film by any means, don't get me wrong. The ending completely sucked, I'm with you all the way, but it was a fun, enjoyable film that really reminded me of late 90s, early 2000 horror films, which is when I really got into horror. So for me, it was kind of fun, but I don't think it was anything amazing. And yes, I do know the news about the sequel. That was quite obvious. Anyway, on to Cold Pursuit. Talking about bad films, I really did not like this film. This whole Liam Neeson thing before the movie came out, I guess with the press release, that was fucking bizarre. The whole, I don't know what his PR must be doing. He's absolutely bizarre. If you don't know about that, I recommend looking it up. And you can see by this the poster on there, which you guys are looking at this screen at the same time. Is that trippy? It is actually meant to be a comedy, and you don't think that. Especially, I went in to see the advanced screening and no one knew it was meant to be a comedy. Everyone thought it was just like a Liam Neeson kind of film, you know, like you did something bad to my family, I'm gonna kill you kind of situation. But it wasn't that at all. It almost to me seemed like an off-brand Fargo, where they were trying to be like quirky and dark about people's deaths, and it was just a bit bizarre. And I didn't really get it, and it wasn't really for me. But it looks like, if you guys can see here on Letterboxd, a lot of you guys that I follow, if you follow me, I'll follow you back, you guys really enjoyed it. I mean, this person gave it 4 stars. Hello, Lance, good work. Wait, he said bizarre, dark, fun. There you go. That's probably how I would put it if I liked it. I then watched Brave, which I did a review on this. I think a lot of you guys really like this film, and I can see here, some of you see there's Ben. He gave it 3. We've got 4s there. We've got Care, which is one of my favorite people on social media, has given it 4.5. So I think a few of you guys really liked that. If you're into a trippy movie, would recommend, but I have a whole review on that. I also have a whole review I did on Climax, which is probably one of my favorite films I've seen this year, Climax. And obviously, oh my god, Lords of Chaos, I'll get to that in a second. But these two films are very similar in how effective they are, how intense they are, so I really like them. I then watched Carrie, and then I watched Bad Boy Bobby. I did this for It Does This Offend You, which if you don't know by now is a stream that I do with Nightmare Maven, where we talk about movies that have offensive themes and kind of just go all out talking about it and discussing it and getting into the nitty gritty, because that's what we like to do. But I know a lot of you guys obviously know what Carrie is, but Bad Boy Bobby, I was very surprised by the amount of people who hadn't seen Bad Boy Bobby, and I'm here right now to tell you, if you're gonna write down anything this month, except for Lords of Chaos and Climax, write down Bad Boy Bobby, because it is such a classic Australian film, and when I rewatched it, I realized why it matters. It's a film that fucking matters, and I would really recommend it. Although, look, Nightmare Maven, she gave it a 2.5. And my friend Jessica, she gave it a 3. But it's an important film. It's important, and I think you guys should watch it. If you don't know what it's about, it's really messed up. It's about a guy who has spent his whole life in one room, and his mother, who he has a sexual relationship with, has mistreated him and told him that outside he needs a gas mask to survive. And it's him surviving through all of that and coming out the other side. And I think it's a really important message, and it's really brutal, and I think some of you guys will really love it. Definitely check it out. I then watched Happy Death Day to You, which everyone had such a fit about. Everyone's like, this isn't horror. I thought it was fun. And also, she's like committing suicide over and over. I don't know what's horror these days, but in my mind, it's a horror comedy for sure, and I actually really enjoyed it. I don't know, people were really mad or either really happy. I guess it's a polarizing movie, which I didn't think people would be so passionate about. I guess passion is a good thing, right? So I recommend that if you haven't seen it. I then watched Death Bell, which I watched because I did a collab on Demented Pictures channel, which was about the top 10 Korean horror films, and I would kind of recommend this film. I thought that it was missing a lot. If you like Korean horror, I'd recommend checking it out, I guess. But it's nothing that you'll need to rush out to watch immediately. Maybe put it on your list for a rainy day. I then watched The Town That Dreaded Sundown. I watched this while I was working one day and kind of watched it in the background. I loved this film when I first saw it, which is fucking bizarre to me because I hated it this time. I thought it was trash. Is that really bad to say? I can't believe how much I really liked this film when I first saw it compared to now. It just shows how things change. And how horror taste changes, because this was from 2014. I think I saw it 2014 or 2015. So that's quite bizarre for me. I then rewatched The Boy, which I really liked the first time, and it's just a solid, I don't know, cliche horror movie, but it has like a fun twist to it. So I do like this movie, though. Look at these. You guys don't seem to like it. Look at Felicia is not a fan. Matt's not really a fan. I didn't mind this film. I think it's quite good. I gave it 3 stars out of 5. So if you haven't seen The Boy, it is on Netflix, and I would recommend, even if it's a background movie. I then watched Obsessed, which is quite funny. This actually has Beyonce in it. It's a stalker movie. I can't get through a month without watching a cliche stalker drama thriller. It's just in my nature. I need it to survive. I then watched Kidnap. Wow, Wow, if you guys have never seen this film, it's got Halle Berry in it, and it's about her son going missing and her following the person who's kidnapped him. Like, it's like a car chase movie. I didn't think it would be as gripping as it was. I really enjoyed this film, and I was very surprised by it, and now I'm looking at your scores. It's so funny. But I still would stand by that, and I really recommend it. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix, but it was on Stan, which is an Australian streaming service. Definitely check it out if you're curious about it. Then I got a story to tell you guys. I watched this fun movie called Lords of Chaos, and let me tell you, I have not been moved, I have not been shocked, I have not been disturbed, I have not been, I don't know, the movie just changed me, and I love this movie. But also, I have not received so much hate in my life as I did for this review. If you go have a look at my review, I think I have 150 thumbs down. I have like 300 and something thumbs up, which is great. And I know a lot of you guys get where I'm coming from, and I make videos for you. But the metalheads for this movie came after me. If you have not seen my review, go check that out. But it's based on a true story, but it's based. And some people did not understand that, and they were really mad. And I get it's a personal thing. I know that the hate's not directed towards me, it's just directed towards anyone else who has a different narrative of the story. But it got me thinking about a lot of movies that we watch that is based on true stories, like any of the Conjurings, you know, like Amityville horror movies, any of those kind of films, and how horror fans, The Exorcist, that's a great one, don't react the same way as people who don't understand film act. These metalheads are so connected to this story, and I get it. They're very touchy about the story, and they don't like anyone else talking about it. But I'm still glad I put the review up because I got a lot of views on it. But I'm still glad I put the review up because this is my favorite movie I've watched this year, and it did really affect me, and I don't care if the movie isn't exactly from the story. I did go watch a documentary based on the story. I'll get to that in a second, and I did a lot of reading on it. So I know that there has been some differences, but really it was pretty close. So I don't know why everyone's having a fit. Anyway, a lot of hate, a lot of racist comments, a lot of sexist comments. And I just want to just stop, and instead of saying how bad that was, I want to thank you guys because I love you guys so much, and you give me so much leeway to talk about things that maybe 100% I don't understand and have that conversation. And you're such a good audience. I just want to just give yourself a pat on the back that you're not like the crazy metalheads that went after me. I know not all metalheads are like that, but these ones were ferocious. I just want to say that. Okay, and then I watched Connoisseur, which I watched with my patrons. Shout out Wilson, who made us watch this. This is probably the worst movie ever. You can see my beautiful Patreon, Bia. She watched it with me. It was pretty awful, guys. Would not recommend. It's meant to be like a rip-off of Jurassic Park, or it was released at the same time. But I had nothing to say about it, to be honest. I then watched Until the Light Takes Us, which was a documentary that's based on the same accounts from Mayhem, which is Lords of Chaos. I don't know what to say. I don't think it was a very good documentary, the way it was put together. A lot of people said, you should go watch this documentary if you've seen Lords of Chaos for the true story, but it didn't really put things down in a matter-of-fact way. It used a lot of music clips, a lot of montages, and kind of swayed your audience either way and strung out the facts instead of just putting all the facts into a neat pile. I'd love to see that kind of video or movie. I then watched Pelton. I only watched this because I'm a huge Mark Duplass fan. I think he's amazing, and if you don't know about him, he does like Creep, and he's done a few documentary series. He's got his fingers in a lot of pies, and I just really appreciate the way he looks at cinema. This film, though, for me was a little bit average. A lot of you guys really loved it, though. Look at that. So probably would recommend it to you, to be honest. It's on Netflix. It's about a dying man and his neighbor and their relationship. It is a very intense movie in a way, but it's also a story that's been told several times. And although this comes from a slightly different angle, I don't know if it was because it was like a male-male relationship. I didn't relate to it. Obviously, I'm not relating to the storyline anyway, but you know, I'm a huge fan of Mark and I'll support him in any way. And it seems like you guys really like this one. I just felt it was a little bit average. It's not bad, not good. I gave it a 3. That's not a bad score. I then watched Greta, which I have done a review on. I was not a fan of this movie. A lot of you guys did inbox me saying that you didn't mind it though, and I'm glad that I kind of lowered expectations, if anything. But for me, again, a story that's been told a billion times, but this one was very disjointed and just a little bit confusing. Also, something I didn't mention in my review is Chloe's character was a little bit confusing because she was quite meek at some points, and then she would have such strength in others, and there wasn't any real build to it, and it was kind of the cookie cutter scene, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a sad ending to what I watched this month. But out of all of that, I would definitely recommend, for you guys, I would recommend Climax, Braid, Lords of Chaos, obviously, The Boy, if you haven't seen it, I thought it was quite good, and Bad Boy Bobby, of course. What did you guys watch this month? Please let me know down below. I do have some TV shows I really want to talk about though. I watched Dirty John, guys. I was very surprised that I got through this TV show, and in 24 hours, I was actually hooked. And I had no plans to watch the show. I had listened to the podcast, so I knew the story quite well. And it looked more drama-ish, which it is. But I kind of turned it on the background and then I got really glued to it. If you don't know about the show, it has Connie Britton, Eric Bana, and Juno Temple. And Juno Temple was amazing. I loved her in this role. I haven't seen her like this before, so that was really cool. And Eric Bana, obviously Aussie. But it's based on a true story about a guy who kind of lies his way into this family, and it ends in a very sinister way. And I really liked this TV show, and I think it's because when you listen to the podcast, it's a lot of interviews and it's very interesting, but I'm such a visual person, so seeing it all come together made a lot more sense to me, and it was a lot more creepy. If you liked the show you would really like this, and I do recommend it. Definitely give it the 3-episode rule. If you haven't heard about my 3-episode rule, I always watch or try to watch a TV show 3 episodes in before deciding to veto it, because I think that that's when a TV show can really change once you've sunk into the characters, and it's just a good rule to have. And saying that, my next TV show is definitely the 3-episode rule, which is Russian Doll. I started watching Russian Doll in January and I didn't get into it. They're about 20 minutes long, the episodes, and it's on Netflix. So it just wasn't grabbing me, so I turned it off. And then one day, again, I put it on in the background and I was just glued. If you don't know about Russian Doll, oh my gosh, this show is so good. And I felt like I watched A Good Place and I watched Happy Deathday around the same time. So I did a lot of time loop movie, TV shows all at the same time. So it was a lot to take in, but it is so worth it. So Russian Doll is a comedy drama mystery show about a cynical young woman in New York that keeps dying and returning to a party. It has Natasha Lyonne in it, which I was really thrilled about because the last couple of movies I've seen her in were not great, in my opinion. So I was really happy to see her in a TV show where she plays a character that's so suited to her. And she's just someone to fall in love with during this show. I love anything based in New York, so I was very much into that. But this show, I can't tell you why, but you just really need to stick with it. And oh my God, the feeling at the end of watching the show, I cried. I thought it was so amazing, and it was such a good tale of friendship, which I think it's really rare in movies and TV shows where it's not all relationship based. There's some friendship in there, and I really like that, and I just really love this TV show. It's quite short, it's sharp, it's to the point. Just give it the 3-episode rule and let me know what you think. Talking about TV shows that made me cry, guys. Sad time in my life, but also so happy, the end of Kimmy Schmidt. I love Kimmy Schmidt, the TV show. If you haven't seen it, you are missing out. It is this amazing comedy that's very fast paced, and the characters are just, they're probably the best characters I've seen in TV shows, especially Titus. It is based in New York again, about a woman who is overcoming her past, where she was captured and she was a mole woman. She was held by a captor underground for many years with these other women. And it's a comedy though. It's about her kind of facing her darkness in a comedic way, and it's really brutal at some points. It's written by Tina Fey, and it will just blow you away if you haven't seen it and you like comedies and you like something a little bit different and offbeat and you're very much into pop culture. It's your thing, it's your jam. Anyway, they just finished the last season and they completely wrapped it up. It's definitely the end, and it was quite sad to end because it was one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So just a moment for Titus. We're just gonna give him a moment.
That was smoke and mirrors, Kimmy. 2 things gay men love. And I'd call him out on it if I knew anything about Coors. Did I say that right? Curse. Coors.
Stop it.
Now I'm done, guys. I'm done. Let me know below if you guys like Kimmy Schmidt as much as me. I know it's weird coming from a horror fan, but I know a lot of you guys like a little bit different TV shows as well. Okay, my monthly mission, guys, or something I just want to talk about really, is hashtag Black Sheep Horror Club. So on Instagram, I did a little story a while ago talking about how I felt like I wasn't really in the Instagram community within horror. I was kind of shunned a little bit, and I don't know why. And I feel like a lot of you guys kind of feel the same way, where you can't get noticed, or I don't know, it was different in my circumstance because a lot of people were talking to me a lot and then they stopped. And if you just feel like you're a little bit of the black sheep of the crew, black sheep in the family, I've made a little solution. I don't know if it's a solution, but I try, guys, when I feel something is not right or I want to change something within communities, I try and find a solution instead of wallowing in it. And that's kind of what I did with Save HorrorTube when I made the playlist so everyone could kind of get their watch time up. Now I've made a hashtag, which is Black Sheep Horror Club. A lot of people use hashtags, and because the horror community is so oversaturated, I thought it'd be cool if you were feeling a little bit left out, or you just wanted your stuff to be seen by like-minded people, we could all use this hashtag whenever we posted a photo, and then we could go through and support each other, and I would promote a couple of people each week that use the hashtag. So the next time you're on Instagram and you post a horror related picture, why not use the hashtag, it sounds like such an ad, why not use the hashtag Black Sheep Horror Club, and I'll be able to see it and we can promote each other's stuff, and it will just be a cute little community thing. It's fun to do these kind of things and see if they work and see if you can get a few more hits, a few more likes, and make a few more friends. So that's it from me this video, guys, but I hope you enjoyed it and you found something that you might want to watch. Hopefully put something down on your little list, and let me know below what you loved, what you watched, and what you recommend. And I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my 20,000 subscriber video. I'm so excited, guys. A lot of you actually guessed what it was in my last favorites. You're right on, bang on. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please do that, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay spooky.